They're coming home. They're coming home. England's coming home. Oh dear me, what a pity, what a shame. I can't believe it, I really can't believe it. England are out of the World Cup. How can this be reality? We were so certain, we were so sure that we were going to win. How can this be reality? I really don't know. It's not fair, I tell you. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. England, yes. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you... happy? I hope so. Here we go again. It is Wednesday night, late and live, and it's Mr. Duncan, that's me, live on YouTube. We are here, live as live can be. Yes, of course, tonight I'm sure you were watching, I was watching, Mr. Steve was watching. We were all getting so excited because after 5 minutes, England scored a goal. And then in the second half, it all went to pieces. What a shame. So that's it. It looks as if the dream is over for this year. So on Sunday, the final, the World Cup final, will be between France and Croatia. No England, unfortunately. Isn't that a shame? I can't believe it. Already I'm getting lots of lovely messages from people saying, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Duncan. So sorry that England lost. I had so many things planned tonight, and I've had to scrap all of them. I had a lovely England flag on the screen behind me, but that's gone now. I had my pizza ready to eat, my celebration pizza. That is now sitting in front of me, cold. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel like eating pizza. Dear, I don't know. What to do? What to do? Francisco is first on the live chat tonight. Thank you for joining us. Mina is here as well. Hello, my teacher. Sorry for losing the match. Well, you didn't lose it, and I didn't lose it. Gretel says, sniff, sniff, sorry. Belarusia is here. Hello, Mr. Duncan, and the classmates. Hello to you as well. Thanks for joining us tonight. Pedro is here. Hi, everyone. Gretel, I wanted England to win. I know, it's a shame, isn't it? Alex is here. Also, Aurora. Hello, Mr. Duncan from Brazil. It is very cold because it's winter. Is it really? Is it really cold at the moment in Brazil? It's feeling very cold here tonight across England. And it has nothing to do with the temperature. Nothing to do with it. You might say that the mood is very cold. Very sad. Funny baby Trump, says Bella. Oh yes, did you see Donald Trump floating by? And of course he will be in the UK towards the end of this week. Donald Trump is coming to the UK this week. A lot of people getting very excited about that. Of course, if you do get excited about something or by something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you like it. So the excitement might be excitement as in anger. Belarusia says Croatia and France, the two teams that had to suffer Argentina. Obaidullah says, hi sir, how are you doing? I'm okay, not too bad, but I must admit, I did end up watching the whole of the match and I didn't realise it was going to finish so late. Around about, what was it, half an hour ago? About half an hour ago the match finished. I can't believe it. So that's the reason why I am slightly late. Aurora said Brazil came home before England. Yes, but now England will be coming home. They didn't win the World Cup. Gabrielle says, I'm very sorry and sad, Mr. Duncan. Just now I can't stop crying. Oh, Gabrielle, please don't cry. Please don't cry. You'll make me cry. Catherine. Hello, Catherine. Thanks for joining us tonight. Nicole is here. Hi, Mr. Duncan. Don't be sad. The English team was almost successful. So sad that France will not have the pleasure to beat England. Thank you, Caradas, for that. Yes, I think a lot of people were looking forward to see France and England playing against each other, but no, it is not going to happen. The English arrogance is punished in football, says Zigzag. Thank you very much for that. Well, yes, in the first half, England played quite well, but then in the second half, it seemed as if they were all tired out. Yes, so I think, even from my point of view, I think Croatia, in the end, were the better team. I think so. Belarusia, I am supporting Croatia, and of course I am very happy about the match's final result between England and Croatia. Oh, okay then. Thank you, Anna, for that. Tomek, I'm here for the very first time on Wednesday, late and live. Thank you, Tomek. Thanks for joining us. It's nice to see you here. I have a fly buzzing around me at the moment. There is a fly buzzing around in my studio and it's really, really annoying me. Hello, Mr. Duncan from Algeria, Myanmar or Maima. Hello to you as well. Kurdish, I guess you are a Kurd? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you as well. Mary Angel says, hello, Mr. Duncan. Hello to you as well. Thanks for joining me tonight. It's a little bit sad because we didn't win tonight. Croatia are through to the World Cup final, which is happening on Sunday, which also happens to be the day when I'm on live once again. Pedro Belmont is here today saying hello to you. The football is a great business. Don't be sad, really. I'm okay. I'm all right. Nicole asks a question. What is Waistcoat Wednesday? Waistcoat Wednesday refers to the clothing that Gareth Southgate wears at the side of the pitch. He wears a shirt and a tie and also a waistcoat. So many people were copying the way he dresses, except for me. Tonight you will notice that I am not wearing a waistcoat. I am actually wearing my smiley t-shirt. Mr. Duncan, don't worry, be happy. Yes, I'm okay. Not too bad, thank you very much. The only reason why I sound out of breath is because I was rushing around. I became very distracted by the football, to be honest. Palmyra says, don't worry, be happy. Yes, I'm fine. Don't worry about that. Teacher, can I join your live stream? I am listening in London. Yes, of course. You are more than welcome to join in. Everyone is welcome to join in. So don't worry, wherever you are watching in the world, wherever you are, wherever you come from, you are more than welcome to join me. I became so flattered when I spoke to my friends. According to the lessons I had here, thank you very much, Mr. Duncan. Oh, Amzia, thank you very much. So, are you saying that my lessons helped with your English? I'm very pleased to hear that. Chris Choi says, it is not done yet because England have another match left. Yes, I believe they are playing a consolation match. So I think the two losers in the semi-final get to play each other. Is that right? And I think they call it a consolation match. It's a way of saying, well, you didn't win, but at least you can still play a game. Saman says, hi, Mr. Duncan. It's the first time joining you from Kurdistan. Hello, Saman, and you are more than welcome. No problem. Amori says, today I did my memorizing from the English language, and I am happy to say this. Thank you, Amori. I'm glad my lessons have been helpful to you as well. Where is Mr. Steve? Is he crying? I think he's upstairs at the moment, talking to his mother on the phone. But yes, we watched the match together, and I was almost having a nervous breakdown in the second half. But of course, once that second goal went in for Croatia, I had a strange feeling that it was all over. And I was right. Rosa says, hello, Mr. Duncan. Distract is the same as keen. Distract is the same as keen. Not enthusiastic. Distract. I'm not sure what you mean there. I will try to work out what you mean by that. Good evening from Syria. Abu Omar is here. Hello to you as well. Mr. Duncan, can I ask you... Ask me what? What do you want to ask me? Ooh. I always feel nervous when someone asks, Mr. Duncan, can I ask you something? Because it normally means that a personal question is about to appear. I think so. So, we have lots of things to show you. It was a very strange night tonight. A very strange evening as far as the weather was concerned. So let's have a look. Tonight you can see the view looking over into the distance, and yes, you can see the sunlight coming through the clouds. But today it's been a very strange day. It's been very, very dull, especially this evening. And tomorrow, can you believe tomorrow we are going to get some rain? For the past 3 weeks, we have had no rain. It has been so hot. But apparently tomorrow and Friday, we are going to get lots and lots of rain. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Another view for tonight, just to show how dark the clouds are. You can see the clouds are very dark and grey. In fact, I think that really does sum up the mood at the moment in England. I'm sure a lot of people are feeling very gloomy. So there it is, the view tonight. Lots of clouds in the sky and lots of rain on the way. Yes, there is rain on the way. We are going to get some rain. A lot of people are feeling very happy because the other night in my kitchen, this happened. Can you believe it? Once again, we have no water. About 40 minutes ago, I turned on my tap and this happened. No water. No water again. This is the 5th time. I kid you not. This is the 5th time that we've had the water cut off in the past 3 weeks. Now, I'm just wondering to myself,
What will come first? A general election here in the UK after Theresa May calls for the country to go to the polls again, or a national hosepipe ban? The bets are now being taken.
Dip. It is Wednesday night and this is Late and Live with Mr. Duncan. That's me, by the way. Broadcasting live from England. England. It is a very painful word to say at the moment. Sadly, England are now out of the World Cup. I know I shouldn't be talking about sport so much, especially for me, because I don't really follow sport, but I have to be honest, I have become a little obsessed by the World Cup over the past couple of weeks, mainly due to the fact that England have been doing very well. So even I have become very enthusiastic and very interested in the football. The live chat is very busy. Let's have a look, see who is on. Wow, lots of people are here. I am practicing with your lessons, says Amori. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much for that. Hasnar says, wow, what beautiful nature you have in the UK. Yes, the UK is a beautiful place. Would you like to see the animals that live at the back of my house? We will have a look at those in a moment. Gabrielle says, wow, England is very scenic. Yes, it's very scenic where I live because I live in the countryside. Louis says, Mr. Duncan, life is going on, but you like your country and you like your region, so that's a good thing. Thank you very much for that, Louis. Mr. Duncan, my name is Daniel from Brazil. Hello, Daniel. Daniel Vale, watching in Brazil. And, of course, I know that I have a lot of viewers watching in Brazil. Yes, Mr. Steve will be here soon, don't worry. Gretel says, no water? No way. Please don't cry. I think it's necessary to organise a national demonstration. Well, talking of demonstrations, there is a big demonstration taking place in London this week because a certain person will be visiting us. Do you know who it is? Can you guess? You may have seen him at the beginning of today's lesson, floating by. Okay, let's have a look at the lovely animals, shall we? So we have some lovely cows at the moment in the garden, and here they are. Aren't they lovely? Ah, hello. So there are some cows and also some bullocks, and they are living at the back of my house, and this is what I saw tonight, watching the cattle at the back of the house. Aren't they lovely? And one of these cows is a magic cow. It can actually change its appearance. Yes, so look out for the magic cow. You will see it in a moment, and it can change its appearance. I'm not joking. It can actually change its colour, but you have to watch very carefully or you might miss it. Did you see it? That's a magic cow. For some strange reason, that cow has the ability to change its colour. It changed from one to another. Hello. Oh, he's coming to say hello. Isn't that lovely? Hello. Are you having a little munch? Can you see what that cow is doing? It is eating my plants at the back of my garden. And there's the magic cow. It's changed back to its original colour. Oh, so lovely. So for those asking about the animals living at the back of the garden, there they are. They are doing very well, thank you. And the farmer was there yesterday. He gave them lots and lots of water to drink because during this weather it is very, very hot. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a lot of people have been asking, where is Mr. Steve? Well, Mr. Steve is on his way. I'm not sure what's going on here. Steve is doing something next to me, and it's really, really strange. Mr. Steve, what on earth are you doing?
Hello, Mr. Duncan. How are you? And hello to everybody else out there. Yes, we won! Oh, fantastic, Mr. Duncan. What a night. I mean, I didn't see all of it. I had to go out, but I knew we must have won.
Did you see the first 5 minutes?
Yes, it was fantastic. And I thought, that's it. I don't need to see any more. I can go water the plants. Everything's all right. So I've just come back in, obviously, to find out, how many goals we actually got against Croatia. Oh, dear.
You might need some of this. We lost.
Oh.
We lost. I have my consolation pizza.
I need some vodka.
No. Vodka?
Maybe that's not an appropriate drink.
Is it really that bad? I don't think it's that bad.
I knew we hadn't. I knew we'd lost, actually. I was just joking. I don't know how you can eat that pizza. Mr. Duncan cooked a pizza tonight, and he overcooked it. It was a little overcooked, I've got to say. It was still nice, not as nice as it could have been had it not been in the oven for about 10 minutes too long.
That's not overcooked. That's perfect. That is perfect pizza. And I put extra garlic on top.
Anyway, we're keeping up nice, bright smiles, even though England has lost.
We bloody lost.
I do like this, Mr. Duncan. I've never used it before. Never mind. At least we didn't have to play France in the final.
We could do with 2 of these, really.
I think, yes. It would have been worse had we played France and lost than playing Croatia and losing in the semi-finals. That would have been a lot more disappointing because I don't think we'd have beaten France, would we? They're a very good team. They're tipped to win anyway.
What I wanted to see was England play Russia. I don't know why.
Well, we wanted Brazil to get through if England didn't, and Brazil was knocked out, and now England have been. So I don't really want anyone to win now. I probably shan't even watch it.
I love the way that ball is floating above Steve's head.
Oh, yes, I've just noticed it is. There we go. Let me reposition myself slightly. How about that?
It looks like you're balancing it on your head.
Let me just get rid of that. I'll just head it out.
Oh, steady, steady, Steve.
What was that noise? I heard a whistling noise then.
It was you.
Was it mine? Did I whistle through my teeth?
I don't know where it came from.
I whistled through my teeth.
That's his excuse anyway. So here we are. I was a little late arriving tonight because I was so distracted by the match. Now, I thought it was going to be over by about 9:15. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't over. It carried on until about 20 to 10, and I hadn't even got ready.
Extra time.
I was in there watching the TV with Steve.
Something that we've done very often on our live streams. We've run into extra time. So sometimes we're supposed to stay on for 2 hours or an hour and a half, and quite often we've run over by up to half an hour. We didn't score any goals, but I think we taught a bit more English during that half an hour. So yes, extra time. You can use that expression Not just for football. That's a football expression. We covered a lot of those on Sunday. Football expressions that can be used in everyday life, but we forgot to use the one extra time.
Yes, because I got confused last week because, of course, once the match is finished or towards the end of each half, you have injury time, which allows for all of the stoppages during each half. And then, of course, if there is no clear winner, you have extra time. And then that lasts for half an hour. So you have 15 minutes, then 15 minutes. And then if there still is no clear winner, you have the penalty. So at least we were spared the indignity. The embarrassment of having the penalty shootout.
And losing.
So at least we lost kind of in a sort of fair way.
We sort of started off strongly and then if you drew a graph, we were up here to begin with and it just went like that all the way down.
They were amazing in the first half. They had so much energy.
Never mind.
And then in the second half, it was like they were all tired.
I can't see the live chat, Mr. Duncan.
Would you like to see the
You've
live?
kept it blank on the preview screen so that I can't see what the live chat is, because Mr. Duncan always gets annoyed that I start reading out comments from the live chat because he thinks that nobody else can see it. So it doesn't give me a preview. Hello to everybody who's saying hello to me. Hello to Anna. That's the one I've seen there. Hello to Rosa. And there probably are others, but I can't see them because Mr. Duncan is making a mess of showing the live chat to me.
I don't know what's going on.
Preview.
The live chat is all that.
It all looks bigger, Mr. Duncan. The text looks bigger than
I don't know
normal.
what's going on. It's all broken. Everything's broken.
Thank you, Rosa. Rosa likes my shirt. Oh, this is an old thing I just threw on.
Here's the live chat now.
That's what you say when somebody says, I like your shirt, and you want to be modest. You just say, oh, it's just an old thing I threw on. That's what you say. So if somebody compliments you about a dress or about a new suit or any new clothing, and you want to be modest, you can say in a comical way, oh, it's just some old thing I threw on. But what you really mean, of course, is that you're quite proud of it because it's new and you know you look good in it. But you try to be a bit modest. Just an old thing I threw on. Yes, the St. George's Cross. They'll all be coming down. Everyone will be taking those down off their houses.
I think people will be burning them tomorrow in the streets.
Off their flagpoles. Amori says, are you trying to sell pizza? Yes. Well, what make of pizza is this? We could always promote them and see if we get any money.
I think that's highly unlikely.
I think it's highly unlikely.
I don't think the managing director of Chicago Town Pizza is
hello,
going.
Hello, Jamila. Hello, Rosa. I said hello to Rosa already. Yes, Chris says that Korea was out of the World Cup very early on, so you've been able to enjoy it without the worry and pressure of whether your team is going to get through or not. So at least we can relax now.
That is the good thing about losing. It takes all the pressure off.
It means we've now got Sunday to concentrate fully on the live stream without having to worry about what England are doing against France. Obviously, we want... I think it would be fairly safe to say that everyone in England will be rooting for Croatia rather than France.
How strange is that?
Can't imagine anyone in England wanting France to win because, well, there's a bit of history there, isn't there? If people don't realise that, there's a bit of sort of... would you call it friendly rivalry or hatred?
I would call it animosity.
Animosity. That is a very good word, Mr. Duncan. Because of the many hundreds of years of history and wars between ourselves and France, we sort of always love to hate French people, and they always love to hate us. And now that we're pulling out of Europe, probably even more so. So yes, you can fairly safely bet that even though Croatia beat us tonight, Nobody in England will want France to win. That's just the way it is. I'm sure some of you out there living next door to countries where there's this sort of rivalry going on, and there's a lot of history because of things that have happened in the past, conflicts. That's just the way things are, and we have to live with it. We love the French, really. Well, we're jealous of their sort of suave sophistication and their chicly dressed women and their expensive Chanel perfume.
They are very good lovers.
Yes, and no, they talk like that, Mr. Dong. Oh no, that's the wrong accent. I mustn't do that. I'm going into my Spanish accent. I was trying to do a French accent, and I started to do Carlos Santos again.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Embarrassing.
Can we please?
Never mind.
Can we please just take Carlos Santos and bury him in the ground?
Carides has said there, yes. Other uses of the synonyms for animosity, hostility, friction, antagonism.
Acrimony.
That's right. Bitterness, rancor. I would say hostility, friction, yes. Antipathy. Bitterness, probably not bitterness. We wouldn't describe ourselves as being bitter.
You know what the Rancor was? The Rancor was the big monster that Luke Skywalker has to fight in Return of the Jedi.
That's a good name for a monster.
A Rancor.
Are you going to celebrate the second anniversary of live chat? Is this the second anniversary of the live chat?
On Sunday, it will be 2 years since we started doing the live chat. Yes, 2 years on Sunday, exactly. So on the 15th of July 2016, I did my first ever live stream, and I must be honest, I looked so nervous. Not like now, not as cool and as confident as I look now. Oh, I think I may have ate that pizza too.
I can't believe you ate that pizza, Mr. Duncan, live in front of all your wonderful viewers who were trying to learn English. What can we say? Any words around pizza?
There's another piece here.
You're not going to eat that, Mr. Duncan, are you? Surely not.
This is a slice of pizza. We can also say that this is a portion of pizza. But most people say slice. It is a slice of pizza. Open wide for the train. Choo-choo.
Oh, that's revolting. Oh, there's nothing worse than cold pizza.
Why did you spit that out? This is precious pizza.
Oh, it's disgusting. Actually, it tastes disgusting now.
This was supposed to be my victory pizza, but now it's my sad losing pizza.
Cold and overcooked pizza.
Why do you keep saying it? It's beautiful.
Somebody asked, what's in your bottle here? It's just Ribena, I believe. Am I right? Is that just Ribena?
It's pure wine. It's distilled wine.
It's Ribena, which is a very popular drink for children in the UK. Mr. Duncan still drinks it, even though he's an adult. It's blackcurrant juice.
You've got to eat this.
Oh, it's disgusting. Oh, it's horrible. I really am disgusted by that pizza.
I can't believe that you wasted my pizza.
Tijen says that she, if I can see the picture, I hope I'm correct in saying she, because the pictures alongside the names are very small, but she loves your live stream and she's addicted to it. In the same way that Mr. Duncan is addicted to pizza. I won't tell you how much Mr. Duncan has already eaten today. If I was to get you the box is about that big. We went and bought it about an hour before the match started. And Mr. Duncan has eaten most of it. I don't think you're going to get a very good night's sleep tonight, Mr. Duncan.
It's traditional, though. It's traditional to eat pizza during a football match. And it's also a tradition to eat the remains of the cold pizza if your match or if your team loses. So that's what I'm doing. It's an old tradition. started by my grandfather.
Zigzag 169 says, "Stop eating. You're setting a bad example for people who might eat too much and put on weight." Pedro wants to ask a question.
How can I be held responsible for everyone else's actions? That doesn't make sense.
Pedro says with 8 smiley faces, so we've got to allow him to ask a question when he puts all those smiley faces after the question. Do you mind if I do a question? I think I would like to correct you there, Pedro,
Go on.
your English, and say that you probably should say, "Do you mind if I ask a question?"
Do you mind if I ask a question?
Hope you don't mind me correcting you there, Pedro, but this is, after all, a live English lesson. So, sorry to pick you up, but that's the phrase we would use.
Nicole is talking about the history between France and England, the 100-year war. Can you imagine?
Well, I don't remember that one.
Well, I think it was before we were born.
Yes, and of course, says Nicole, has pointed out that Mr. Duncan has French ancestry. French ancestry, something like your great-great-grandfather was French. So, therefore, what's going to happen on Sunday, Mr. Duncan? Are you going to support France?
Well, of course I'm going to support France.
What?
You know, I'm part French, so there. Ooh la la.
I think that's disgraceful. I can't possibly be on a live stream with you, Mr. Duncan, if you're supporting our nearest and historical rivals in everything. Never mind. It's all a bit of fun. It's friendly rivalry, as far as we can say. We're not really sad about England
Losing.
Anna Beer side, but we're not really sad.
We're not sad.
We're slightly disappointed because we're not big football fans, so we're not really disappointed.
We're not big football fans, even though sometimes we do like to play football.
Put it this way, we would be far more disappointed if we couldn't do this live stream. Let's put it in perspective.
If we had a choice between England losing and never doing the live stream ever again, we would be so heartbroken if we couldn't do this anymore.
Exactly. So we are coming live and talking about English with Mr. Duncan and with all you has cheered us up. Not that we were that disappointed. We were sort of expected to lose because I don't think England have ever got through to a final for about 50 years or something.
Wasn't it 1967 or something?
Like that. So it would have been a miracle. And it would have been nice, but I think France would have beaten us, and I would not like to have watched that match.
They think it's all over. It is now.
There you go. And I think the question that Pedro asked, which has gone, I think, was, can we use examples of the word set? Oh, no, Pedro hasn't asked the question yet.
Pedro wants to ask you a question, Steve.
Oh, I know. I thought Chris is 5:30 in the Philippines and he's eating eggs for breakfast. How fascinating! Watching us and eating his breakfast at the same time.
So he's having his breakfast while I'm eating my late night pizza.
Oh, Caridas said expressions about disappointment, sadness, sympathy, consolation. Well, you said them all. I think there you certainly said a lot of them. Yes. Do we need consoling, Mr. Duncan? Do we need somebody or something or someone to console us at England losing? You're not saying very much. Do you realise Mr. Duncan has hardly spoken at all since I've been on because his face is stuffed with pizza. He's been stuffing his face with pizza just as the crust of this pizza is indeed stuffed with some kind of sauce. He's been stuffing his face with pizza.
You are really disrespecting my pizza.
I don't know how he's not going to sleep tonight, I'll tell you now.
You must respect the pizza.
He's going to be hot. What I predict, Mr. Duncan, is that you are going to be overheated because your body will be trying to process all that food. And let's face it, you're getting a little large round the middle, Mr. Duncan. You need to watch your weight.
Apparently I'm very large down there.
No, the middle. Oh, well, Your stomach. Let's be more precise. The stomach area. A little bit of adipose, which is another word for fat. I'm not being unkind. I don't think. I'm just, someone's got to tell you, Mr. Duncan. I think you could do with losing a stone in weight. What is that? What was that, Mr. Duncan?
What was that? I have no idea.
Something floated across the screen. You didn't prepare me for that.
What was that?
Oh, Amory's going. Oh, very sorry to see you go. But you didn't answer. Pedro says we didn't answer. But what's the question? But you didn't answer. Can I? Yes, we said yes you can. I said yes you can because you put 8 smiley faces after your question. So I said yes, you can ask a question. So feel free to ask away. Anyone can ask any question at any time.
Ricardo wants to say something. I am sad because Del Potro lost in Wimbledon. Wimbledon.
Oh, wow.
Wimbledon. What's Wimbledon? Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. Yes, Ricardo spelled it correctly. And my mother, I spoke to my mother, she was very sad because somebody else, famous player who's won Wimbledon 9 times, Roger Federer, was thrown out as well. He lost. He won the first 2 sets and then lost the next 3. 4-hour games. So my mother was sad because he lost and also because England have lost. So I had to console my mother on the phone tonight.
Was she crying?
Not quite. But that could have been because I was on the phone.
Why does she like him? Does she think he's sexy?
Probably. I would imagine that's why. She's always going on about Roger Federer. I think she's got a bit of a secret thing for him. I don't think it's to do with... I think it's more to... well, I don't know. She says things like, oh, he's very... He's very proper and correct, and he's got good manners. But that's what you'd expect your mother to say. She's not going to say, "Ooh, he's nice. He's a sexy player." You wouldn't expect your mother to say that. Well, my mother wouldn't, and I wouldn't want her to either.
I've heard your mum say that though in the past about certain men. She says, "Oh, he's a bit of all right."
Really? She's never said that to me.
Really, you haven't heard that?
No, she always. When we were growing up, I always remember.
Do you?
Watching Top of the Pops, which is a programme, obviously, I don't know if people know about Top of the Pops.
I doubt, well, unless they're living in England and they've been living in England for the past 30 years.
It's the pop music charts, as it used to be. So that used to be a regular television programme every Thursday, and my mother, whenever a certain artist from Hot Gossip? Not Hot Gossip.
Hot Chocolate.
Hot Chocolate, that's it. Hot Chocolate came on. You'll know the name of the lead singer.
Everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth. That's the truth.
About an octave higher. He's got a very high voice.
He did.
What was his name?
Errol Brown.
Errol Brown. He's sadly died now, but my mother always had a thing for him.
His head looked like a Malteser.
It did, but he'd got a certain appeal. He was, let's say, he was follically challenged.
Bald.
Follically challenged.
Bald,
I guess, because your hair... follically challenged is a politically correct way of saying if you don't want to upset somebody who's got no hair, you don't say they're bald, because that tends to offend people like myself. So you would say follically challenged.
There are many ways of describing a person who is bald. You can call them a baldy. Hello, baldy. You can call them a slaphead. Slaphead. It means you can slap your hand on the top of your head like this.
Go on then, do it just for the viewers.
No, I won't do it to you. That's disrespectful.
No, I don't mind. It's a bit of fun. Okay.
And also, Chrome Dome.
Bald as a coot.
Chrome Dome.
Chrome Dome. I've never heard of that one.
Chrome Dome because it's shiny. So a lot of people who have no hair, their head is very shiny. So they're called a Chrome Dome.
But if you want to be...
what was the other one? Bald.
Bald as a coot.
A coot is a type of eagle. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a bird. I'm not sure if it's an eagle. It's a bird, but it hasn't got any hair. Well, it has got. It looks like it hasn't got any hair on its head because the feathers are a strange colour.
A coot.
So it's a coot. You can look that one up and see pictures of a bird called a coot, which I presume is spelled C-002, C-0-O-T.
But yeah, I suppose you could spell it C-002.
And so, yes, but follically challenged.
Kutu.
It's like if somebody is not very intelligent, you would call them intellectually challenged. That was it. You tend to use the word challenge now as a politically correct way of saying something where someone's got a disadvantage.
Yes, or disability.
A disability in some respect, a flaw or a fault. So yes,
a fault.
There's another phrase we've come across this week, haven't we? A very interesting phrase.
I just love the fact that you call it a fault, like when your when your TV stops working. You know, so you might have a child who has a disability, and you say, "Oh, it's okay. He's faulty. He doesn't work properly. I'm taking him back to the hospital next week to have him fixed." It sounds like you're talking about a broken television. Yes, the word that we heard last night. A very interesting conversation taking place last night.
On the television.
On the television with a famous comedian called John Cleese. And apparently he's not too happy about the way that Brexit is going. Yes, a lot of things happening in the UK this week because of Brexit. The government is all over the place like a mad woman's knickers. So, yes, and we heard this wonderful phrase last night.
For somebody.
No, don't say what it is. We will actually just say what the phrase is first. I think that's better.
Okay, fine. I think we've already given that away, but we can.
Literal thinking.
Yes. Or yes, if you say somebody is a literal thinker.
If a person is described as a literal thinker.
A literal thinker. A new phrase for our English students out there in the world.
A literal thinker.
It's a relatively new phrase, I think. If somebody describes you as a literal thinker, or you describe someone as a literal thinker, what are you implying about that person?
What are you saying to them? What are you saying that they are?
Yes. And Pedro has asked his question.
Oh, okay.
He has said, "What did I buy? What was the first thing that I bought with my?" It's just at the bottom. With my first paycheck.
Oh, I see.
And the answer is, I can't remember.
Oh, I see. I wonder what you bought for the first paycheck you ever earned.
I probably bought petrol to put in my car.
Yes.
Or it would have been something boring because I didn't have much money when I was first earning. So it was probably petrol for the car. Or it would have been rent. Put the money towards rent. So I don't think I bought anything special.
Here's a good question, Steve.
I still got my first paycheck, though. Still got it.
You still got it?
I have.
What, the money?
No. I've still got the pay slip of my first ever paycheck.
So the thing that said how much Steve was being paid, he still has his first ever paycheck, but not the money, unfortunately. So, you know when you lived at home, Steve, did you ever pay rent to your mother?
No, because I left home when I was 18. I didn't stay long enough to get to the point where my mother and father expected me to pay rent. So, yes, I left when I was 18. So I'd had some part-time jobs before that. Picking strawberries, picking fruit, because we lived out in the country, so I used to work on farms during the summer, picking fruit, strawberries. It used to be lovely. That was I used to eat more strawberries than I picked. So yes, I can't remember, Pedro. I must have bought something, but I can't remember. Probably because I was so short of money, I only really used the money for rent. Yes. And probably petrol to put in my car.
It's interesting how you were answering my question and then eventually ended up answering Pedro's question again. So, yes, you don't remember.
Repeating myself. Yes.
See, I used to pay rent to my mother. So, because I was still living at home when I started working. So I used to give my mum some money each week for rent or board.
Ah.
Whereas some don't, you see. Some children, when they start working, they just keep the money for themselves. But I had to pay for the rent to my mother whilst I was still living at home after I'd started working. So yes, that's quite an interesting thing to point out.
That is interesting, yes, because different people. I think if you're working,
It's a good question.
yes, if you live at home with your parents and you're working, do you pay some money towards your parents, or do you think you should do? Does it depend on how much you earn? Does it depend on what factors would you pay money to your parents? Interesting.
But I think it's only fair if you are earning and you're living at home. It's only fair that you contribute some money towards the upkeep of the house. I think so.
I'm going to see what this is, Mr. Duncan. I'm going to have some of it. Because two people have asked. Now Nicole is asking, what is this strange drink?
Why is everyone so interested in what I'm drinking? This might be wine. It might be tarantula blood.
Let me give it a little... That's how you're
supposed to drink it through your mouth.
It's Ribena.
I'm glad you didn't spit it out.
I was going to, but I thought I wouldn't with your keyboard and highly sensitive electronic equipment nearby. I didn't want to. Yes, people have spotted that strange thing going across the screen was a blow-up doll of President Trump.
A blow-up doll?
I'm not sure what it was.
But it's not a blow-up doll. This is the thing that's going to be flying over London. There it goes. Can you see it? Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Oh.
There it goes. It's President Trump in the form of a baby. Yes. So yes, that's what it is.
So do people know that this isn't something you've made up?
No, that's the real thing. That is actually the baby President Trump. It's a huge balloon, and they're going to fly it over London when President Trump arrives at the end of the week. So as he drives through London, this huge balloon in the shape of a baby that looks like Donald Trump will be flying over London. I'm not joking.
President Trump is visiting England to come to talk to us about trade deals.
He's going to have a cup of tea with the Queen.
He's going to have a cup of tea with the Queen. He's coming on a big state, well, it's sort of a modest state visit. There's going to be lots of protests. We're not going to, rightly or wrongly. And they're going to allow... I think it's a bit disrespectful. I think shame on the Mayor of London to allow, the President of the United States, really any visiting leader from another country should not be subject, I don't think, no matter what they've done, to this kind of ridicule. I think that's very poor of the Mayor of London, who has allowed this to be flown. I mean, a protest is one thing, but I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think it's in very bad taste. But there you go. After all, we want some trade deals from the US, and that's not going to exactly put him in a good frame of mind.
That's one way of putting it.
I mean, he's just going to have come back from the UN conference. And he's already made some, he's in a fighting mood at the moment.
He was really getting angry at Germany today. He was telling them about their trade. Was it about the?
He was telling them that they shouldn't be buying so much gas.
Yes, about the gas
from Russia.
Yes, I wonder how much gas, because we also buy our gas.
We do
from Russia, and not many people know that. But our gas, or a lot of it, comes from Russia,
and a lot of gas across Europe comes from Russia, and I think some countries are more dependent on it than others. And I think President Trump was pointing out that maybe Germany was too dependent. Maybe, whether you agree with that, I don't know. I think he seemed to suggest that about 80% of Germany's gas was coming from Russia, and therefore he was saying, why should the US put so much money, of its own money, into the United Nations when to essentially to protect Europe against Russia, which is really what it was set up for, and therefore, should Germany really be buying that much gas off somebody who potentially we could go to war with. So I don't know. There's a point.
So who do you think we get?
We're talking politics. It's going to
you on
get
about-
heated.
Who are we going to war with?
Well, we're not going to war with anyone, but
So when you just said going to war with, you
Well,
didn't mean going to war
no.
with.
President Trump pointed out the fact that that America put a lot of their money into the UN.
Oh yes, I get
Germany don't put as much as they would like in.
that. Yes, according to him, not us.
No, we're just saying what he's saying.
Yes.
We're not giving our opinion at all. So he was making a point that Germany need to be putting a lot more money towards the UN because essentially they are sort of almost at the beck and call of Russia because they're having to get a lot of their gas from Russia.
Yes, but as I just said, a lot of countries get their gas from Russia, including us.
They do, but we put 2% of our GDP, gross national product, gross natural. Oh gosh, GDP, gross national
Productivity.
productivity, something like that. Into how much money you make every year, how much money do you put into defence of the UN. We put 2% in. He wants Germany to put 2% in, but they're not.
This is so boring.
It is a bit boring. Even go back to football.
Even I'm going to click away, and I'm in the live stream. Even I want to click away and go and watch something else.
I don't know much about it, so I better
Yes.
I better back out before I get in too deep.
Yeah, it shows. By the way, it
Thanks,
shows.
Mr. Duncan.
So yes, so we have President Trump coming on. I think it's Thursday or Friday, and he's coming for a state visit. He's going to have a cup of tea with the Queen, and then he's going to play golf in Scotland, where he happens to own a couple of
He does indeed.
golf clubs. And when I say golf clubs, I don't mean the things that you hit the ball with. I mean actual places where you play golf.
Yes, Anna points out that she thinks that the protest is valid against President Trump.
Okay.
Yes, that's fine. I've got no problem with people protesting. This is a democratic country, so you should be allowed to protest. But I think going to the extent of allowing a giant balloon shaped like a baby Donald Trump is probably, I don't know, going a bit too far. What do you think, Mr. Duncan?
Well, I think the thing at the moment, of course, is in the United States, a lot of people are disagreeing over many of the things that Donald Trump has, first of all, tried to bring into place, and some of the things he's said, and also, of course, the way he's talked to other world leaders. So I think that it's more than just one thing. Although he still has a very big fan base. His approval ratings at the moment, it's something like 50, 55 or 56%. It's as high, if I remember rightly, it's as high as George Bush just after 9/11.
Thank you, Bella. It's gross domestic product, not produce.
Or productivity.
We weren't far off. It's the same thing. Yes, Alex says, what is Trump offering to use instead of Russia gas? Firewood?
Coal.
That's it. So basically, Alex is saying that really, what alternative do Germany have? Well, of course, they've got lots of coal. They could burn coal, but of course, they don't want to do that because that's going to affect their output of CO2, and they've got targets and limits on that.
You mean the United States?
No, Germany.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Germany could burn lots of coal for its power, but it probably can't because it's a dirty fossil fuel to burn. Produces lots of CO2, and as we know, the European Union has set these very strict limits on how much CO2 you can produce. So in order to reach those targets, Germany probably can't burn coal, which it's got lots of. It hasn't got very much nuclear power either. Whereas France has a lot of nuclear power. I don't know, maybe they must have lots of, I don't know. All I know is that they're going to use a lot of, I'm very thirsty, Mr. Duncan.
Yes, it's probably all this pizza. I'm quite thirsty as well. That's why I'm drinking a lot.
Very thirsty.
Okay.
I'm thinking of going for another drink. It's probably all this talking as well. Anna Bia says, what is today's temperature and water shortage issue? Well, we've got news on that because the water went off again the other day, didn't it?
I did. I showed the video earlier of me having a look at the tap. Shall we have another look? Here we go. So this is me the other night turning on the tap and finding out that there was no water.
Can you believe it? Once again, we have no water. About 40 minutes ago, I turned on my tap and this happened. No water. No water again. This is the 5th time. I kid you not. This is the 5th time that we've had the water cut off in the past 3 weeks. Now, I'm just wondering to myself, what will come first? A general election here in the UK after Theresa May calls for the country to go to the polls again, or a national hosepipe ban? The bets are now being taken.
They certainly are. So there it is. The other night I came to turn on the water and there was no water coming out of the tap. Fortunately, the next morning the water was restored. Talking of things that are liquid, Mr. Steve is now treating himself to...
What? Oh, I wasn't... Oh, were we back on? Right, okay, fine.
What is this, Mr. Steve?
No, nothing. It's just barley water.
This
Nothing
is not
actually.
barley water. This is cognac. It is alcoholic.
I believe it's
which
French.
which I'm just wondering
cognac.
whether you are.
I believe it's French cognac, which is...
Oh, that's quite suitable.
Okay.
Isn't
I
that-
need a drink.
That's quite suitable to be drinking French cognac
There we go.
as we are no longer playing
We're joking.
France
It is really cognac, but I haven't put much in.
in the World Cup. So there.
I stopped you showing a clip of us playing football earlier on, didn't I? Because I was jabbering away,
Yes.
talking a lot without any gaps and not saying very much of any real significance.
Jabbering. You like
Jabber.
to jabber.
Jabber.
If there's one thing that Steve is very good at, it's jabbering.
Talking endlessly about nonsense.
We will have a look at the football clip for the last time. We won't see it ever again, unfortunately. And then we are going to try our new Gareth Southgate beards. Yes, we are going to be putting them on in a moment.
Oh.
So, for the final time, here it is. The big match. That is the last time you will ever see it. Yes, it's Leighton Live with Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. We are live as live can be on a Wednesday night. And of course, we are live from England. Yes, indeed, England.
Oh, Mr. Duncan. Well, we can keep that clip and we can show it again during the next World Cup in 4 years' time.
That's it.
Assuming we're still here.
I will save it. Now we're going to do something very unusual. We are going to try on our Gareth Southgate beards. Are you ready, Mr. Steve?
I've got a feeling that Gareth Southgate beards and his waistcoats are going to go rapidly out of fashion
Really?
after tonight. But never mind. Yes. So what are you going to try to do, Mr. Duncan? You're going to try and do what?
Well, I'm hoping to do it if it works. It might not work, you see.
Are you going to be very clever with your technology?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm certainly going to try. So if I can find my beards, and then you can sort of maybe talk for a few moments while I try to find them.
What shall I talk about?
You talk about anything you want. Look at that. Look at the freedom I've given you there.
But you haven't prepared me, Mr. Duncan. You're just throwing me in at the deep end.
You don't need
That's
to...
what I can throw about. That's what I can talk about. You've thrown me in at the deep end, which is an idiom that means to be suddenly given without any warning a task to do that you weren't prepared for in any way, shape or form. So just like somebody throwing you in the deep end of a swimming pool and you were unprepared for it, Mr. Duncan saying to me, please just take over while I prepare the next segment of today's live lesson. He has thrown me in at the deep end.
Try to keep your head still.
And therefore, I'm talking about...
keep your head still as you're talking, because I'm putting the beard on you right now.
So I've got to keep still and talk while Mr. Duncan
That's
is
it.
doing it.
Don't move. Don't move. That's
okay,
it. Perfect.
Right. Oh, right. Oh,
Perfect.
yeah, I see. Can people see this?
No, they can't.
Oh, hang
That's
on.
why I'm doing this.
moving.
That's it. Just keep still. Just keep... No, keep still. That's it. What part of keep still don't you understand?
It's
That's
very
it.
difficult to
Yes.
keep still, Mr.
Well,
Duncan.
you did it just, and now I have to put my Gareth Southgate beard on, which isn't as easy as yours. So let me just find mine.
Oh, I'm swaying, Mr. Duncan. I'm swaying from side to side. I think that's because of the of the cognac that I've just drunk.
Quite likely.
So I'll try and look at the camera, not look at myself on the screen.
So here's mine now.
And
there you go.
so what would Gareth Southgate be saying right now, do you think, to the players? You useless bunch of idiots.
That's it.
You're useless. And I was hoping to get a knighthood from the Queen for us winning the World Cup. And now I haven't got one because you lost.
Yes.
Why is yours a funny colour, Mr. Duncan?
Move over slightly. Let me just... there. Let me just position. That's it. That's it. A bit over that way. That's it. That's it. Stay still now.
I know. If I put my hands on the desk...
There you go then. So I've got my Darren Southgate. Darren Southgate. I keep saying Darren Southgate because I'm an idiot. Gareth Southgate.
Mine's more difficult because I've got a very small area in which to keep my mouth inside, whereas you've got more flexibility.
I don't know why your beard looks like a serial killer. You look like a serial killer.
Yes, I'll get a knife and stab you in any minute. I'm very conscious that I'm looking at myself and not at the screen.
That's hilarious.
Why are we doing this, by the way? Oh, because of Gareth Southgate.
Yes, you know, that football game that we watched tonight. It's all to do with that. So there we go.
I don't know what this must look like. Is it funny?
Well, it looks like that.
I know, but I don't want to keep looking at it because I want to look at the camera.
Yes, but that's
Otherwise,
okay.
if I keep looking at myself, it must look a bit odd.
Well, it looks odd whatever you do, Steve. So there we go. We've got our...
I think I look very sophisticated
Very
with this
sophisticated, I must admit.
beard. I think that I could pull it off.
Oh, dear.
To pull something off means you get away with it.
Yes.
It means that...
To succeed.
To succeed, maybe against the odds, you pull it off. So if England had won tonight, they probably weren't the favourites to win, but if they'd won tonight, you could say that England had pulled it off.
They've pulled it off.
So they'd won despite the fact that people thought they would lose.
It does mean something else that's very rude, so I won't...
So if you suddenly grow a beard, and you're a man...
yeah, maybe.
And you grow a beard, and people would say to you, "Oh, he wouldn't suit a beard." But then you grew one; it was very good. You could say, "Oh, he's pulled that off." Or if you were wearing, say, I wore some high fashion clothing. something that I wouldn't normally wear that was by some fancy fashion person.
Where are you going?
And you could say, say for example, I wore a very strange hat. A very strange hat. Someone might say to you, so you can't wear that, you'll never pull it off. Meaning they think that it wouldn't suit you and you'll look silly in it. So there's another expression we've introduced tonight.
Yes. That's it. You're doing very well there, by the
There
way.
we go.
You're holding the beard very well now.
I could say to your viewers out there, somebody who knows some English, but maybe not a lot of English, that they could maybe try and examine English earlier than they otherwise would have done. And you could say, I wonder if they can pull that off. In other words, can they get through the exam?
Yes. Can they be successful?
Can they be successful even though they haven't probably learnt enough English? But if the questions all went in your favour and were all about subjects you knew something about, then yes, you could say that you could pull that one off. Wow. Are you pulling this off, Mr. Duncan, having us with false beards?
It's great. I think this suits me. I think I might do this every week. I think we'll stand here every week with these beards in front of us because they make us look very manly.
I'm not sure that I want to do this for much longer, Mr. Duncan.
Shall I tell everyone what happened today when we were walking home from... we were getting some chocolate earlier and our pizzas. And I was walking along the road and I was walking very daintily like a lady.
He was pretending.
And this van came past and the driver started sounding his horn at me. I think he was getting a bit excited.
Mr. Duncan was wearing a stupid hat.
It's not a stupid hat.
It's what you would call a very feminine-looking hat.
It's not feminine.
And then he decided to prance down the road, doing a little sort of strange dance with his arms flaying out to the side.
Like this, you mean?
Yes, and it made you look...
I was doing this.
Can I use the word camp?
Well, you can if you want.
Made you look very camp, Mr. Duncan, to the extent that a van driver decided to honk his horn at you. But I don't think it was a nice honk. I think he was sort of ridiculing you. Mr. Duncan, can I...
Do you mean this hat?
That's the hat Mr. Duncan was wearing.
Wow,
and would you like to give a demonstration of how you were walking down the street?
This is how I was walking. I was just...
How do you think van drivers would react to seeing a man wearing a hat like that?
I think he was showing his appreciation.
Oh, Mr. Duncan, I'm getting a little tired of having to stand in this one spot and having to concentrate on the live stream at the same time.
I tell you what, Steve, next week we will grow real beards and then we won't have to do this.
Good.
Okay, we'll grow actual beards and then we won't have to do it. So I guess you're getting fed up of the beard.
Well, it's the beard and the ball above the head. This is like trying to rub your tummy and pat your head at the same time.
Yes.
So I'm having to keep the ball there.
Trust me, there are harder things to do.
I'm having to keep the beard there and talk at the same time.
We haven't got to keep the ball there.
So I'm doing three things. Well, no, I'm telling everyone that's... Oh, blimey, Mr. Duncan. That beard looks a bit grey on me, by the way.
Yes, it looks like, as I said, it looks like a serial killer beard. It looks like, have you seen this man? Last seen looking very suspicious.
Why have you got an orange beard, by the way?
At the back of the children's school.
Mary Angle says, hi from Venezuela. Hi.
Hi there, Venezuela.
I don't know, we've had other people from Venezuela before, haven't we? Yes, Bella, England could have won. Yes, if Mr. Duncan had been in the team, they could have won. Mr. Duncan is a Viking. Why did you do it, says Tijen. I don't know why we're doing this. It was Mr. Duncan's idea. I don't know how this is going to enhance your English.
It's Gareth Southgate, you see, because he has a beard like this.
Oh, Mr. Duncan, can we stop this now? I'm getting very tired.
Oh, you're so boring.
Being in one spot all the time.
You're so boring.
There we go. We could swap beards, of course.
Yeah, how's that? Is that big enough? We could share the beard. I tell you what, we'll share it. There we go. Between us, if you come this way.
I don't know how this is enhancing people's English.
We could share the beard. It's just fun. There you go. You can have this beard then. Would you like this beard? You can have this beard. There we go. I will give you this beard. So you can have the nice beard and I'll have the serial killer beard right there. So there we go, Steve. That's better. Actually, if I put it upside down, it might look like you've got hair.
Oh, Mr. Duncan, let's get on with the live stream.
There, let's just see. Oh, yes, I think that will work. I think that will definitely work. Whether, let's just put that there. Okay. And I will give you a little. There you go. Oh yeah, I think that's perfect.
It's a beard hat. Get rid of that. Are you going to get rid of the beard?
The other one. Okay, give me a chance. There. Oh, that's better. It looks like you've got hair now.
Oh, Mr. Duncan.
It's really interesting. This is. I'm thrilled. I'm very, very thrilled.
It would have been better if it just appeared rather than seeing you try to grapple with the electronics.
There we go. There we go. So there's your beard, and then there's the one on your head. There you go. That's great. Well, you look. It knocks years off you. You look about 20 now. That's amazing. I needed cheering up tonight, and you've cheered me up, Steve. Thank you very much for that.
Right, that's it. I'm coming out. Oh, what a relief.
I wonder what you were going to do then.
Oh, I'm so thirsty, Mr. Duncan. Yes. Oh, I think this alcohol is beginning to get to me, Mr. Duncan. I feel a little tipsy.
I think Steve is getting drunk.
Not really. Rosa asked me, can you get rid of those beard things, Mr. Duncan?
Why?
Well, because they're sort of in the way.
Oh, you're so prissy. There you go. I'll have it then. There you go. It's mine now. There you go. There you can have that one. You can have that one. There you go. Where are we? And with that, I'll just turn that around. There you go. That's better because you want the nice one, and I'll have the one that makes me look. There you go. That's better. That's much better. Oh, I think that suits me. That's it. You're not very good at this, are you? Yeah, your left is your right and your right is your left. There you go. Oh, that's great. Yes, I look like Chuck Norris. Does anyone know who Chuck Norris is?
He's got yes. He's got a fist for a chin.
Do you think Chuck Norris walks like this?
No, I don't think he does actually.
You don't think Chuck Norris walks around Hollywood like this? Hello.
Okay,
Hello there.
okay.
I'm Chuck Norris. Who wants a punch in the face? Okay then.
He's got a fist for a chin.
He's got a fist in his beard.
Laughter is the best medicine, says Ariel. Oh, I knew a robot called Ariel. In Return to the Forbidden Planet, there was a robot called Ariel.
I'm hoping that one week we will get through one of my live streams without Mr. Steve mentioning his theatricals.
Never. I'm going to go on. If you don't get rid of these beards, Mr. Duncan, I'm going to talk about uses of the word set.
Okay, that's it. They're going. They're gone. They're as good as gone. You know how to bully me into submission. So boing and
it's a relief.
Boing. There we go. They're gone now.
That's such a relief, Mr.
That's
Duncan.
a shame. I was enjoying that. There goes the Trump baby. Oh, do you see that? He flew off.
Back to the world of English.
The world of English.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The world of English is a fun and exciting place to be.
Somebody pointed out earlier that Ronaldo has been sold for 135 million euros.
135 million?
So how much of that does he get?
Does he get any of it?
Probably. I bet he gets 10% or something like that.
I think he lives in a little flat with one mattress on the floor. That's probably how he really lives, you see.
Marcelo has said there, what does the expression feeling a little worse for wear at work come Monday morning? Feeling a little worse for wear means that you've probably overindulged at the weekend in alcohol, sleepless nights, and you've gone to work on Monday and you feel you're lacking in sleep and you've probably got a hangover. So if you're worse for wear, it means whatever you've done the previous day has made you tired.
Yes, you have long-term effects from the thing that you've done.
Yes.
You are worse for wear. So something that you've done previously, the effects of it, normally negative effects, are still with you. So maybe you've had too much to drink the night before.
Yes.
So the next morning you feel worse for wear. Or maybe you had a bad day at work. Maybe you were very busy at work, and at night you get home and you feel worse for wear because you had a busy day at work. So any effect that something has, normally a negative effect that lasts for a long time, you feel worse for wear because something has made you feel unwell or unhappy or tired or exhausted.
You could spend a lot of time in the garden doing too much gardening, and then you come in and you're very tired and you say, oh, I'm a bit worse for wear. It means that you've just overdone something and you feel tired as a result of it.
That's right.
And not very well.
That's right.
So that's it.
That's it. Well, that is almost it, because we're coming up to 11:30. It's almost time to go. I hope you've enjoyed today. It's been a little bit different because we had the disappointment of England being knocked out of the World Cup.
But I'd say better to be knocked out by Croatia in the semi-finals than to be beaten by France in the final. That's what I say.
So who are you backing now?
Well, I'm not really. I've lost interest now.
Oh yes, me too.
If I was forced to pick, it would be Croatia.
To be honest, I couldn't care less now. I was only interested when England looked as if they were going to win. Now I couldn't care less. So all this football stuff will be gone on Sunday. This football will be gone. You won't see that again.
No more football.
I spent nearly 2 hours today making that football there.
Oh, that one.
Yes, I made
that one. Yes, got it now.
Yes, on the screen. I spent 2 hours making that, and that's it. It's gone. It's gone. It's out of here.
It's all gone. So
it's all gone.
Tennis now. We've got to do something about tennis, haven't we?
Tennis on Sunday. We'll talk about tennis, but even then we don't have anyone in the tennis.
No, that's true.
I mean, the tennis is being held here in England, but we don't have any players in the final.
No, we don't, and we haven't done for many years.
Because Andy Murray has a bad back. So that's it. What more can you say?
Yes, Andy Murray isn't in it, and we don't think we've got anybody else. Do we know who's in the final? I know we won't know till tomorrow, will we?
No, I think there's another match, but your mum's favourite is out.
Roger Federer is out.
Roger Federer is out.
I'm not a particular fan.
What about Nadal?
Is he? Is he still in?
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been following it because, unfortunately, Wimbledon has coincided with the Football World Cup.
There's been a lot of sport taking place.
Oh, really? I think most people have really been watching the football rather than the Wimbledon. So Wimbledon has taken a back place to football.
Well, you might say a back seat.
A back seat, yes. Yes, exactly. So it has not been in the forefront, whereas Wimbledon normally now everyone would be talking about the tennis at Wimbledon, but they're not. It's taken a back place or a back seat because the World Cup has been on. So that's an expression you can use, isn't it? If two things are going on at the same time and one takes dominance over the other,
yes,
the one that is not being seen as much takes a back place.
That's it, a back place. But we normally say back seat, or also the thing that is being favoured takes priority.
Yes, that's
priority.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway, I think that's time for us to go. I think it is time to say goodbye because we've had a busy night. Even before we started on here tonight, we were busy in there, getting very upset and very anxious about the football match. But of course, now that England have lost, we couldn't care less, to be honest.
No, Palmyra says yes, that infamous match against Germany in 1990.
Yes, of course. That was the last time, wasn't it, that we nearly got through.
That's infamous. That is something that is famous and well remembered, but it's infamous because it was a bad result.
Let's have one last look at the live chat. Talking of which, let's have a little look. Oh, apparently next Wednesday it's Belarusia's birthday. So we will be here next Wednesday. Well, I will, but Steve won't.
I won't be here. Well, I might be very late.
Okay.
I might be, depending on what time you're on, because I'm gallivanting.
Yes, well, I will be on now at this time. So I'll be saying goodbye this time next week.
So I may be back in time. I may not.
So, but at least we'll be here on Sunday.
We will be.
So we won't be talking about the football. I'm sure you'll be very pleased to hear that. We might talk about the tennis, of course. And, of course, do you think that it's possible to travel through time?
Ooh, there's an interesting subject.
So there is something we're going to talk about on Sunday, among other things as well.
Thank you, Ariel. Sleep tight. You sleep tight as well.
Thank you, Ariel. We will sleep tight. Yes, no problem. And also, it is very late in England. Yes, it is 11:30 p.m. It is half an hour away from midnight. Very late. All the neighbours are in bed. Jamelia says, good night, guys. Good night. Good night to you. Borgia also, hello. Well, actually, we're saying goodbye now because it's time to go. But don't worry, you can catch us every single week, for those who are wondering. Live English every Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time, and also every Wednesday from 10 p.m. UK time. And that's the one that we are wrapping up right now. So we will see you on Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time, and I hope you have enjoyed tonight's slightly different live stream. Thanks to everyone that has joined, and also thanks to Mr. Steve as well for joining us tonight. Did you enjoy your cognac?
I didn't really put very much in, Mr. Duncan. I've gone a bit hoarse.
I can really smell it. No. I can smell it on your breath.
I might have a bit more later. No. I won't. I'm going out for a curry tomorrow night, Mr. Duncan.
Curry tomorrow?
So good job we're not on live tomorrow, because my breath will smell of spices and garlic.
Well, mine smells of garlic now because I've had so much pizza tonight. I had my share, and also I had your share as well.
You're not going to sleep very well tonight, Mr. Duncan. You're going to be too hot and thirsty.
I will be turning.
That is my prediction.
I will be turning and tossing in bed tonight. Gretel, thank you, Gretel. Thank you to Flavia. Thanks for everyone, actually, who has said hello tonight. And we will see you on Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. So, Mr. Steve, thank you very much.
Ta-ta, Mr. Duncan.
Ta-ta, Mr. Steve.
Goodbye to everybody, and see you on Sunday.
Mr. Steve is going now.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you going to fade me out, or do I have to stand here?
This is what I'm going to do tonight. Something very unprofessional.
Okay. Oh.
There we go. He's gone. So that's Mr. Steve gone, and this is me going right now. Thanks a lot for your company, and of course, what can you say? We almost did it. We almost got through to the final, but we were beat at the last moment, unfortunately. See you on Sunday. This is Mr. Duncan saying thanks for watching me, talking to you live. And of course, ta-ta for now.